go to the artboard, create a new one. I'm glad we got it to show everything. Inches, 18 by 18. And I think I'm gonna do, let me see, 400 reds to get me. That'll give me 8 layers. That's cool. Done. Create. Alright, the first pen I start out with is the technical pen, and I move my stabilizer up so I can have more control. So I move it to 70 at least, around 70.
And the stabilizer is basically if you have shaky hands when you out.
It'll help you make sharper lines without all them jitters. We're gonna insert, gonna import our photo. Boom. Then we're gonna make our photo bigger. Think we should add the hands in there or just the head?
No, we want the hands in there too. Like Loki hit your hair.
So big, we'll make it with the hands in there. Boom. We're gonna do, you're gonna come over and press N, drop the opacity down. And another thing you need to make sure you do is lock this layer so you don't make a mistake and draw on top of that layer and have to do everything over. So what I do is I zoom in close as I can. We're gonna make this brush a little smaller. Start with the nose. And I'm using the Apple pencil to get this smooth control. Fill that in right there. Just like this. And you notice I start my lines off light. I start them off super light. Then I put more force down in the center. And then I end it super light so it'll have that sharp look. So I just got in the habit of doing that so I can get that type of effect. Starting my lines light and making it more firm in the center. Oh snap, what I do? I don't know why that ain't closed off. Make sure we close this off. Okay, boom. Make this a little bigger. Boom. Make that nose like that. And parts like these shades, I try to make it all connect so when I fill it in, it'll fill in this whole area. So I'm gonna show you. I left an opening right here. So when we use our paint bucket tool, it'll just fill all that in. That's what we doing. So, ooh. Two. Put this on. Close this off. So close this off. And just make sure you do the same thing on the other side. Just like that. Just like that. Alright. Just a little bump right here. Take us a little step back, see what we looking like. Alright. Bring this over. I always make that top line above the eye more bolder. Make this top line bolder.
You will make it more bolder by using more pressure on it.
Yeah, more pressure.
Yeah.
Cause that plays a big part too, knowing like how to utilize that pressure when you're doing your line work. And anytime you want to make, like, just you see how I made this eye. Anytime you want to make a perfect circle, all you gotta do is hold your line and it'll correct it. Let's see, drag and drop. Fill that in. I'm gonna put a little this one out right there. And sometimes that's just we improvising. Stuff like that. Alright, to the lips, what I do, I always make a close off line when I'm doing lips. And I'm gonna show you what I mean. So let's make little arrows right here. That's gonna divide the lips. So let's go ahead and close this off and make it connect. Then close the bottom. Make it connect like that. Let's add this little line there. Teeth. And then we're gonna make the line, show the tongue. So a lot of this stuff is just improvising. You ain't gotta follow the your reference picture to a T. You can simplify things just by just improvising.
Basically, in other words, he's saying, like, it ain't gotta be perfect. Make it into your own.
Find a way to make it into your own. It can be subtle little changes that make a difference. It don't, you know what I'm saying? So now what we finna do, let's go ahead and shape off his head. And I like to make the outer shape of his head line more bolder. So we're gonna make that line a little more thicker. And always make sure we connect it to, like, make them close off points. Just keep in mind that you're gonna be using that paint bucket tool. You gotta make sure you closing your lines off, leaving no openings. Here, and we're gonna make a circle, and it's like that. So see how we looking. Now let's go ahead and draw in the area that we're gonna fill in. Here, and we're gonna come back and add the details too. We're just doing some big fill-ins right now. Draw this like that. Close that off. This side like this. Close my line off. Boom. Now what we gonna do, you see how I drew that mustache and that beard?
Mm-hmm.
We gonna go to the hairbrush, and we're gonna go right on top of that, and we're gonna add this little effect right here, so it'll look full and it'll look natural.
And for the ones that didn't just see like which one you chose, can you tell them which hairbrush you chose?
Short hair.
Short hairbrush.
Yeah, I chose the short hairbrush for this one. But sometimes I go through and see which one give me a better effect too. So we using this short hairbrush now, but we might go pick another hairbrush to put on top of that. Let's see.
It's okay. So basically, in other words, it's okay to blend different combinations of hairbrushes depending on what you're creating.
To get you a different feel. Cause now I went, after I did that hairbrush, the short hair, I went to fine hairs. And we're going back on top of that. So we can get a different variation of a more natural look. So now it just looked like we sat here and we drew a million hairs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When really all we did was make a fill-in first, a big fill-in layer first, and then we went around the edges to get that illusion.
You just topping it with the flowing hairs and the short hair.
Mm-hmm. There we go. We got the little beard, and we're gonna do the same thing for the mustache. Still on to the what brush we was on? Fine hair.
In other words, guys, he's basically saying work smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Use that here. Fill that in. Just to give it a more natural look. And then I'm gonna go back to my short hair and do the same thing we did to that beard. Just to make it look like it's flowing better.
For anybody that's wondering, like, what's your opinion on the fine hair versus the short hairbrush?
On the fine hair, give you more of a full look. Wait, is that the right? No, the short hair give you more of a full look, and the fine hair give you more of a individual hairs look. So the short hair is good for filling in. Like, you see how I'm using it to go around these corners to make it not look so sharp. It's a good brush to cover a lot of ground. And then when you want to add more detail to that look, that's when you use that fine hair.
So for somebody that's wondering about how you're doing this, when it comes to the pressure for doing stuff like that, would you say you want to increase your pressure or just light pressure?
Firm pressure when you're trying to hide that clean line. When you're trying to hide how straight this line is, you want to add firm pressure. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So to have that blend, where you can't tell you got a sharp line underneath. And then go on top of that with your fine hair. And you got to be a little more lighter to have control with the fine hair, because this is now we're going back and we're trying to add that detail. So the fine hair is for the detail, and the firm hair is just to fill in and cover a lot of ground, to be a layer underneath. So got that. Let's take a step back, see how we looking. Everything flowing, everything looking good. We're gonna stay on what brush we on. We on the fine hair, and I'm going real light. I'm going super light right now. and we just gonna build this eyebrow with this brush. Now I'm just gonna keep going back and forth until I slowly build it. So it'll look more natural. Okay.
And one more time for somebody that's probably like still behind, what brush are you using once again for the eyebrow?
I'm using a fine hairbrush.
Fine hair. You're just going
And
back and forth.
first, the goal is, we trying to draw the shape of the brush first. So we kind of making a blueprint of what areas we need to stay inside. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to trace everywhere hair should go. And then after I get a nice little outline to where to put what lines not to go outside, I slowly go back in and I fill it in to make it more fuller. Then I just keep going over that area till it start to darken. So whatever area you want it to have more hair to look like it's transitioning, all you do is you stay in that area more. And you notice how it's getting darker?
Mm-hmm.
And then I slowly spread it out so it'll have like a fade look. Slowly spread it out. And we already made our little guideline that we ain't gonna go outside of too much.
And he did all this with the same brush.
Same brush. Just learning how to have control over how much pressure you add and when to add more pressure and when to draw back. Now what we finna do, we finna use that same brush to make the sideburns. So that's why I went ahead. You see when I drew his like bald head, I kind of left some space right there, because I could have made it just come around to his line like this when I made that bald head.
I seen that.
But I left some space there so we can do that sideburn type hair and his edges. So that's what we're gonna use, that same brush. We still on fine hairbrush, and we just gonna come in just like this. A hairbrush. Come on around, make it full. And you notice how we hiding that, we're hiding this line. The more hairs we add, we hide that line until it look like it's just a smooth transition.
And the line you're referring to, you're talking about your outline of the head, correct?
Mm-hmm. We hiding that line. You can't even notice it for real. Alright. Everything look like it's flowing. Okay, cool. Look perfect. What we gonna do, we're gonna go back to our technical pen. Where is my technical pen? Technical pen. And we're gonna finish filling in this hair. So we draw this. this, and boom. Make a fill in this area real quick, just like that. Also, we can make our brush a little thicker. Draw the outline of this hand. The thicker you make your outlines on some parts, it'll make it easier to color and work around. So that's why I do the outline pretty bold. So it'll be easier. The smaller you make your lines, you have to take your time to try not to color outside the lines. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I make my outline pretty bold. Okay. Come on up. Bring this line. Boom. Bring this over. Same thing. Make this flow. Just come up like this. Fill that in. Boom. So boom. Boom. And then I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back to that hairbrush. Let's add this short hair. And we're gonna fill that in like this.
Do you think if someone would have chose the fine hair, they could get the same results?
Because most of the time what you do is you learn how to blend each hairbrush and use them all together till you get your desired look. Okay, now we got that. We're gonna add a couple of strings up here. Yeah. Boom. Pretty much, we almost done with our line work of his face.
Yes, sir.
Now, one thing we need to make sure we add is them dang sideburns too. Can't forget them sideburns. So what I'm gonna add for that one, we're gonna go back to what brush? The hairbrush, and we're gonna use the fine hair. Fine hair, super light. And slowly get more firmer the closer we get to the edges of his face, so it can have that little transitional flow. Come on this side, do the same thing. Firm to light. Slowly get more firm.
In other words, he's basically saying more to less.
Be heavy.
Instead of just running everything as a whole. all the way down.
Yeah. We'll add a couple more little strings just to do some touch-ups. Boom. What we gonna do is finish our line work of our character. So we're gonna have to do the little scarf he got on. I can make my line too bold, but it's gonna be bold though. And how to get that look y'all see me doing with the line work is just learning how to utilize your pressure. Cause I'm going light, I'm going hard. Like right now, before I end this line, I'm finna end it light. So I go into each line with light, firm pressure, and then I get more firm with the pressure. So boom, light pressure, firm pressure to get thicker, light pressure to get smaller. And that's the style of line work y'all be seeing on my pictures. Just using that pressure to my advantage.
I think that's where most people that watch your videos they lack it. It's learning how you do your line work.
Yeah, knowing how to transition with your pressure. That's all it is. Like I'm super light, firm. You see how that line changes? Super light, and it just get that look. So you would think I'm using a whole new brush, but really I'm just utilizing the pressure. So super light, firm pressure. Super light. So I end my lines light so it'll have a sharp taper. I make sure I come out of each line with light pressure. And it give me that desired look. And then I've been doing it so long, that's how y'all able to see how fluent I'm moving and how fast I'm moving with it, because once you do it for so long, you get used to the concept of it. It's like they say, practice just make perfection. Not perfect. Perfection. You'll get better.
The scarf is so hard.
And little things like that make a difference in your picture too, bro. Just making sure you add them little extra little details and things like that.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. So somebody just wondering how you doing the scarf, like for the scarf part. How are you going about the lines for people wondering, like, why are you putting the lines right there to give it that extra detailed look?
For some reason, wrinkles in artwork look amazing. It just don't look good in your clothes in real life, but in art, for some reason, it just make that picture look more interesting. Other than me just not doing as many wrinkles. You know what I'm saying? Like if I just would have did the bend in the shirt and just kept it like this, it won't be an interesting picture to look at. You see this part? This open area? Yeah. It don't look like it's very interesting, but then when you start adding them extra little creases and things like that, it just make it more desirable to look at. And that's what you want when you're doing art. You want people to stay looking. So that's why it's good to make sure, even when you using a reference photo, you try to add you as much as you can into a picture.
So even if it's not there, you can always, if you see a vision in your head, put it into the art.
Add it in there, cause that little thing you added gonna make us be like, bro, that's what I love about the whole picture.
Right.
Your originality. That's what make us artists, is that little touch we add.
Okay, so by you being an artist, if somebody just heard you say about the creases, can there ever be too many creases in the artwork of a cartoon?
Shoot, I don't think so. Whatever look good, that's the goal. The only rule in art is make it look good. That's the only rule. Long as it look good, it makes sense. That's one thing they can't teach in school, in art school. Can't teach swag. Long as that just look dope, I don't care what your professor say. The people ain't buying the know-it-all pieces, like something that you looking at and breaking down to a science. They buying what look nice on their wall. So you just gotta look at it yourself as if you're a customer. And once you get that feeling, like, dang, that's fire, that's when you know you're doing it right. When you can look at your own work and say, you know what, that's nice, that's hard, and you get that excitement of, boy, that's fire. Like, why you making it?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the goal. But anytime you know you need to go back to the drawing board is when you thinking, I need an opinion on this. Bro, how did it look? Or what you think about this? That's when you know you ain't really rocking with it. You trying to convince yourself to like something you know you could be doing better. But anytime you don't need that extra opinion, that's when you know you're doing it. Like, oh yeah, that's it right there. Cause your worst critic is yourself. So you know yourself, when yourself saying it's pie, you doing it right.
Yeah.
For real.
You gonna know.
Yeah, bro, you gonna know.
And if y'all notice, so far he has only used maybe 3 brushes for this whole cartoon so far. It has been the technical pen, it has been the sharp brush, and the flowing hair brush. Really been only 3 brushes.
For real.
Like he did really all about the pressure.
And to be honest with you, the only brush you would really need, if it wasn't for the hairbrush, the only brush we would be using is the technical brush. Because just like you said, that pressure gonna make it look like you using so many different styles of brushes when really you're just utilizing firm pressure, light pressure. That's all we doing. We just utilizing. Because imagine if we was using a brush that don't change sizes. Like, I wish I can draw it. Just like this. I'm drawing with my finger right now. It don't look as interesting. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm drawing with my finger, and because that line don't change sizes, it looks soulless. But then when you're able, now I'm finna draw with the pen. I'm finna draw that same shape. And look how more interesting it made that look. Just by being able to change from sizes with pressure. You know what I'm saying?
So for anybody watching this, basically what he's saying to add on to it, if you haven't got on Procreate yet, and do not, when I say this, I made this arrow sheet. I bought the USB-C Apple Pencil. Do not buy that pencil if you're trying to get off into artwork, because it does not have pressure sensitivity on it.
Oh.
Do not buy the USB-C version. You will want to buy either the 1st gen Apple Pencil, the 2nd gen, or the Apple Pencil Pro. They all come with pressure sensitivity. The only one that doesn't have that feature is the USB-C Apple Pencil. Do not buy that if you're trying to get off into cartoons. It's not to say that it wouldn't work, but to get stuff like this going, you will want that pressure sensitivity feature.
Thanks, bro. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have a link of everything I bought doing this Procreate stuff. As far as the right Apple Pencil, the right iPad, all that. I make sure I share an Amazon link that they can.
So with that ring right there, would you have to close that line, or you wouldn't have to close it on the ring?
Oh yeah, you would have to make sure you close it. Anything that you want to close, things that you know for a fact gonna be a separate color.
Okay.
You gotta close that. So everything I know that it's gonna be different, I make sure them lines are closed off. Like this jewelry gonna be different from this shirt, so I gotta make sure that's closed off. Or the paint gonna just jump all inside of that too. I'm gonna close this little watch bracelet off. Make a bold line around it.
And guys, remember what we said at the beginning of the video, when you're doing the cartoons, they don't have to be perfect.
Nah.
You can make up stuff as you go sometime.
For real. Cause that's what make it amazing. That's what make art. When you start adding things that's not in the original picture, that's what make it a original piece. When you start just whatever, why you drawing? If you think, man, I'm finna make goddamn flowers come out his arm, like add that. That's what art is. You not being afraid to be different, and you bringing your ideas to the world. Because everything that's unique about you will make you a great artist once you share it with the world, because it'll stand out from what's going on. So all the crazy ideas is amazing ideas when it comes to art. For real. I used to think when I was younger, I used to think like, dang, why Basquiat is so successful as an artist when he really don't draw nothing that can't nobody draw. Like my little niece can draw some Basquiat paintings. That's what I think. But what made him amazing was his ideas. Can't nobody think of what you're thinking about to even create it. So how can anybody compete with you when you got different ideas from the world? And he was able to embrace his ideas. You know what I'm saying? So that means his art was always fresh, always original. And who can compete with me doing me? Who can be better than me being myself? No one can. So that puts you in the league of your own. So once you start embracing you as an artist and sharing what you have to offer, them amazing ideas God only gave you, that's what's gonna make you a mega artist. For real. Cause it ain't even about talent, it's about who can be original, who can really share what they're thinking about with the world. So that's the goal. Who can express themselves the best, basically. For real. Let me see, we got that.
We almost done with it.
Yeah, we almost done with the outline. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna make sure we close them nails off.
And for anybody that don't know who he's drawing, this is, if you ever seen the movie Friday After Next, it was the character Money Mike, aka Cat Williams. He played the pimp in the movie. So yeah, that's who's been drawn right now, Cat Williams.
Yeah, he made that movie. I ain't gonna lie to you, that boy made that movie, bro.
Right, and Terry Crews gave him a ride. Like my fish wet and squirming. Like, what?
So that's why you gotta give it up to Ice Cube, bro, cause he really brought attention to a lot of great comedians. He like opened the door for a lot of people we wouldn't even knew if it wasn't for Next Friday and Fridays and stuff like that.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Looking at the photo, the nails so fire, bro.
Oh,
The nails,
oh yeah.
like how you drawing the nails. That's so hard. That's fire.
Appreciate you, Brody. Close that off. Make sure everything closed. And what we're gonna do, and you know my signature, I gotta add the drip. So we're gonna put some drip after we do our wrinkles. So do a couple more wrinkles.
Yo, that could be something else. Like when you just was showing the outline, I was thinking like, what if you came out with like you got the face pack of specific things. What if you came out with like stuff like this, a movie scene pack? Like that'd be hard.
Oh yeah.
That'd be hard.
That'd
like,
be tough for real.
Also a WWE pack for kids.
Boy. Yeah, that'd be tough.
Kids love the wrestling scene.
We did coming up. For real.
Real, bro.
The trampoline was a wrestling ring.
Yes, sir.
Real, man.
Man, can you explain like does that effect have a specific name for people that wonder how to do that right there?
Talking about the drip.
Yeah, that's what it's called, the drip effect.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been drawing drip since I was in 9th grade in high school. I don't know. I've been doing it so long. See, that's a part of my originality to artwork. I just thought of something that what do I always draw when I'm just being random, and I always drew drip. So I made sure I incorporated a piece of me into my work. So that's how you know what you should be adding to your work. Whatever, if I ask you to draw something now and whatever just come naturally to you, you need to figure out how to incorporate that into whatever you're doing.
So that's basically like one of your signatures. The drip.
It's kind of it's equivalent as writing my autograph on the picture. It's drawing drip. And then this how you know when you did something right. When you start looking around and you notice everybody is doing what you started.
Yeah, that drip.
You know what I'm saying? Because now when I look around, I see a lot of artists, and then they have drip under their neck, and I be like, dang, I influenced that, and they don't even know where that influence came from.
Yeah, I definitely seen the drip effect on a lot of cartoons.
So the goal is, as an artist, to impact the world in a way where you are part of the culture changing. Cause
and niggas might not credit for the ones that do hear this, and it could be 10 years after you done heard this video. They might not credit you for it, but you know what you started.
Yeah, as long as you know. And then the thing about it, a lot of times it ain't even a lot of innovators don't get the credit. Just like the person who invented the alley-oop. We was all meant and put on this earth to inspire somebody to take it up a notch. But just being glad that you were able to be a part of inspiring the next person, and you know that you played a part in that feel good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just noticed he had a chain on. I ain't even peeped the chain till
I ain't even
started.
peeped the chain till I started, but I might still throw it in there. We still can. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna throw that on in there. Might as well. So all I gotta do is boop, boop. Wait, I can do this. Bring this cut. came out pretty dope though. Okay. Now let's
Now,
go
see,
ahead.
guys, what he just did, he didn't even follow the line. He just went as he, he made that into his own. The picture didn't run down that long. He just made it into his own.
And
Wiggly
that,
lines into the train effect.
and that's why I say a lot of people overthink it. They try to follow that line work so much where they forget like it's no rules. You can do your own thing too. So whenever you get stuck, that's the time you should be using to improvise. Like, okay, now I'm gonna start doing my own thing. Cause just like we was talking about, it don't have to be perfect. Just do you. It's just like playing sports. When people get out there and they so nervous because they trying to do everything right, nah, just play your game. That's the main thing. Nah, man, get out there and play your game. Have fun. And once
Right.
you just start killing the expectation of not messing up and trying to be perfect, that's when you're able to create more. For real.
We got him on the other line, on the other side too. Okay.
Yeah, I might add a couple more lines. Bet. Probably say ooh. Say probably boom. And now we got.
Will you be doing like the coloring too?
We're gonna add
And
a
that was
little
actually
color.
pretty fast for the outline. It didn't even take that long.
And look, we're gonna do this with the nail. We're gonna say ooh. Say ooh. Ooh. Say ooh. Say ooh. Say boo. Say boo.
And notice what he's doing. He's not trying. He just going as he see. He's not trying to be perfect, making sure everyone is identical. He's just going.
Going with the flow. So another thing we're gonna add a couple of ridges. Yeah. Let's see. Boom. And we ain't really gonna see these. So once we do our diamond effect, that'll be noticeable for real. I'm just adding some. So boom. Got us a couple of lines in there. Duplicate our line work. I always put a line work at the top and lock it. So color can just fall underneath.
So, before you proceed, when you say lock it, what is that doing?
Making sure I don't make a mistake in color on it. So no matter what I do, since I locked it, it ain't gonna allow me to color on that layer. So I always had that line work but protected.
Basically, it's like a backup layer of the line work in case something ever goes wrong.
That too, but I also, every time I create art, I always keep a line work at the very top. So when I color, it'll fall behind it, kind of like this. To say, no matter what I color, it'll go right behind the line work.
Also, guys, as far as the skin tones, you go shop with on his Etsy and buy the skin tone pack. It can help you out with your shading, your highlights, everything already put together. It's only $12.
Yeah, if you want to get some good practice in and you just want to get straight to the coloring part, that should have you covered. So I'm finna show you another thing too. I'm making duplicates of that line work, and I'm finna show you why. We're gonna create each layer for each color. So I'm finna do the shirt, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the color red inside of that shirt area. And you see how I just dropped right inside there? And for these areas that it miss, what I do is I come up here to this S icon and I go to freehand. And then I go to color fill. I make sure that color fill paint bucket is highlighted. And we're gonna draw the areas we want it to make sure it catch. And then we're gonna close it and it's gonna fill in that little area.
Okay, so I have a question because that just showed me something. How come it didn't change the hair? Like that's how did you do that? Like how come it didn't change the hair color?
Because like I said, we drawing behind that lock layer. So if I hide these lock layers, I drew right on top of the line work. You see it? But then when I keep that line work layer at the top, it's gonna go underneath. That's why I always keep the line work layer locked at the top. Now back on this shirt layer, I press this S symbol at the top, freehand mode, color fill, both of those are checked, and we just gonna draw around the area we want it to fill in. And that's why them bold lines come in handy, so we'll know to stay inside our border. And then all you do is when you want to close it off and fill it in, you just tap inside of that gray circle and it'll fill it in, and then you press that S at the top to confirm it.
That's something I'm gonna have to start like getting on, like to learn more about that because it's not, even though you drew the bigger circle, it's not going out of the lines. It's not painting the back of the Procreate background. Everything is staying in the lines. And you would say that way works better than the color drop method?
I use both. It just depends on what situation I'm in.
Okay.
So one thing I'm finna do, I'm finna unlock my line work layer because I forgot to add this black right here. Then I'm gonna lock that line work layer back. So I'm gonna lock that back. You see how I put red on his own layer?
Yeah.
So anytime I want to change that, I ain't gotta worry about it messing up anything else. So now we finna do a jury layer. So let me make a color gold. And orange and yellow will give you that gold color. So drop all out. Oh, make sure we had to see we was on the wrong layer. Now we gotta boom. Say boom. Say boom. Boom. Put it on this chain. Boom. Okay. Boom. And there was a part open somewhere. Let me see, can we fix that? Let me see. So what we gonna have to do?
Maybe it's that small part right there, like on the glasses when you zoom in, like you see. Could it be that one, that line right there, where the two little they trying to connect?
Yeah, let me draw right here, see what that help it. Maybe that'll help. I'm gonna find out. Let's go back to our goal. Maybe that helped. Yep, that did.
Help.
Just had to make it a little more bolder. Alright, now we got all our gold where it need to be. So I'm finna come to my magic wand tool, and I'm gonna go to my noise, and I'm gonna move that up.
He's showing y'all the diamond effect, like the sparkling jewelry.
Now we go to scale. Gonna move that up. And then we can play around with these effects down here to see which one look better. Zoom in a little bit. I think I like that. Let's see.
Bright yellow diamonds.
And that look perfect to me. So we're gonna keep it right there. And another thing we're gonna do, we're gonna come back and add shadows to that gold. Oh, we can do it now. Look, I'm on the gold layer, right? What you wanna do, you wanna select that gold layer and click select. What that's gonna do, once you cut off the color fill button, it's gonna make sure you don't color outside of that gold. You get me? You see how I left these little, damn, y'all can't see it on the stream, but on my stream, it made it where I can't go outside that border of the gold. So what I'm finna do, I'm finna find a shadow tone for my gold. And I think that'll do.
Can you like before you go about that, when it comes to shadows, how do people go about finding the color to the correct, like, is it like a correct shadow they should be following whenever they color dropping on? How do they go about doing their shadows when it come to picking a color?
It's just until you get good at it, all you have to do is think of it like this. If I'm using red, I'm just gonna get a darker red. If I'm using yellow, I'm just gonna move the color wheel down and find a darker yellow. Just like if I'm using yellow, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down some.
As long as the color is darker than the normal color.
Yeah, and you see these boxes at the top? These two boxes, the yellow box right here is right here.
In the right hand corner, top
It'll
right.
show you that shadow right next to your main color. So let's go back to, let's select our gold again. If I can select gold.
The gold is between yellow and orange, he said previously.
And now I'm just gonna go down and get a darker tone. And that's gonna be my shadow tone. We're gonna go a little darker than that. So that's all it is just finding a darker shade.
And for anybody wondering about the brush, he's still using the technical brush.
Technical brush. And now we finna create shadows. I'm creating these shadows on a brand new layer, but since I went to this layer right here and I click select, it will not let me color outside of that layer no matter what layer I'm on. So that we created a new layer, but it still won't let us color outside of that layer. So that's what we're doing right now. We're creating a shadow, but it's saving us from going outside of the lines. So creating a little shadow. I'm thinking of a shadow bouncing off this sleeve right here. How would it react? Then we're gonna add some shadows right here. And what you do is you look at references so much where you kind of remember what it would look like. I done looked at gold chains and jewelry so much, I'm kind of remembering how the light played on it. So just studying pictures, whether it's a cartoon picture or how they make gold look in anime, you just look at all your reference and you just remember that when you're making your piece and add that to your game. So now.
But remember, guys, to also contradict it, make it into your own.
Yeah. Make it into your own. It's kind of like learning the fundamentals or something, and then you create your own tricks in the game. You know what I'm saying?
So if you wanted to add a shadow into a piece that you're making, just because it's not looking like that in the real photo, like something is there, you might see something different. Put it on there.
Facts, bro. Because a lot of people sometimes they'll hit me up and say, bro, the shadows don't supposed to bounce like that, but they don't understand. It's not that. They be 100% right. Now, most of the time the shadows don't bounce like that. But like I said, I'm just trying to make it look good. That's the goal. As long as it look good, who cares?
Right. I like how
So
you did that ring, man. When you split that line like that on there.
yeah,
That's hard.
appreciate you. Now what we gonna do? You see how we made that shadow? We gonna drop the opacity down on that layer, on the gold, on the shadows we made. You see it?
Okay, now when it comes to what you just did with the occupa, is it ocapacity?
Yeah, the opacity.
Opacity. Now some people have said in shadows when doing cartoons that you have to mess with the multiply knob. That's not always the case in your opinion.
Nah, not
Okay.
always. It just whatever works in different situations. That's how I use it. So with the gold, I'm like, I think that'll be best for this situation we using it for, because it kind of showed it. We don't know the settings pretty much to get that same effect. We could go back and try to match up the knobs, but that'll take too long. So all I did was drop the opacity so the same effect can bleed over on my shadows and look like it's a real shadow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And what's so dope about Procreate is after you done got it how you like it, we're gonna merge these two layers together. The shadow on the gold, we're gonna merge them two by grabbing both of the layers with our finger and pulling them to each other. So now we just made that permanent. And what I do after I do my little gold like that, come over here and I go to, what's this brush? The light pen. I'm gonna show y'all. I should do that we'll do that at the end. We're gonna add the little shiny parts at the end. We'll do that at the end.
I'm gonna make sure I remind you.
Okay. So I'm finna create a new layer, right? And this time we finna do the skin layer. So let's find a nice skin tone. Find a nice little skin tone. So boom. We just gonna fill in. I'm finna put that layer at the very bottom so it'll fall underneath the gold and all that. So boom. One of these lines is ain't filled in all the way, but it's cool because all we're gonna do is create a border around it.
What brush are you using now?
The technical pen, I pretty much use that through the whole. That's my go-to. Alright, we're gonna fill all this in like this.
For people that was wondering why you was just doing like drawing it like that, why were you doing that?
Because when I was doing that I think I left an area open, so I had to trace a border around it so it don't go into this eyeball. So
Okay.
I had to create another borderline for it. So boom. Fill in these fingers. And in this chest part right here. And like I said, just so we can make sure we ain't missing none of the cracks between the hair, we're gonna go to color fill and we're gonna draw a line around this border, because sometimes the computer can't recognize those little cracks. So we're gonna fill that in. And then we're gonna do that, make sure we do that around this hair too. I just make sure all this is filled in. That's what I'll do. Just make sure all this is filled. Okay, cool. Alright, now same thing. We finna select our skin layer and click select. But make sure you turn color fill off. You gotta make sure that off, because once you cut that off, it'll make it where you can't go outside the color of that layer. Now we're gonna create a new layer right above that, and this gonna be the shadow layer. So now we just gonna find a tone that's just darker than our top tone. I think that'll be good right there. Probably add a little more orange in it. Boom. Now we're finna create these shadows. And what I do, I like to look at my reference photo. Or what you can do, you can do this thing I call like a one side shade, a one side shadow, which you make sure you do majority shadows on one side. Shadows pretty much tell you how the shape of someone's face is. So you notice I could have easily just did this. And just call that a shadow.
Over the entire, I see people doing that.
You know what I'm saying? I could have just put it on that one side and just did that.
And they lower the, what is it called? The opacity?
The opacity.
Opacity, yeah. They dropped the whole top side of the face. I think it was like that in the cartoon I sent you earlier.
Yeah, you can literally you can literally do it like this, but keep in mind you ain't showing the shadows around like the different
they're
colors.
right there to do that.
You can easily do it that way, but if you want it to have more of a feel, you gotta kind of figure out like how these shadows act around his chin or his cheekbone. So it'll be more like this. Shadow come right here. See, our shadow probably come like this.
Are you using firm pressure, light pressure?
Both. Learning how to blend both of them, so we can get that feel I was showing you when I did that example with that S.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we improvising. This is me just making up a shadow right now.
Right, because he hasn't looked at the real photo at all. Everything he's been, and y'all see it coming together still.
Mm-hmm. So shadow, a shadow might be under his nose like here. So we'll just add one right here. Like this.
And he's using, once again, the technical pen to do this.
Mm-hmm. And most of the time, shadows, it just lets you know like how the face is shaped. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much what I just did here, we could use this same technique for any picture until you learn how to get good with shadows. You know what I'm saying? Just like, let's stop for a minute. Let me go to another picture. Just say, okay, we'll go to this one. We're gonna use the same technique we just used for the picture I was just doing. So watch this. We're gonna say one side shadow. One side shadow. And I'll be real quick so we can get back to our picture. Let's say we was using that same concept. And this is just a way you can practice until you actually get good at it. So we just creating.
So are you like drawing shapes?
I'm kind of, when I'm doing these shadows, I'm trying to see how would a shadow act around these shapes. Yeah, you're right. See how this nose is? It ain't flat. And sometimes shadows will tell you what the shape is. See, if I do this, it'll just look like that nose is shaped like that. And they'll be like, dang, why that nose shaped like that? But that nose have curves to it. So I'm kind of following those curves.
Do you feel as the black outlines also help you with your highlights?
Yeah, because it tell you where you supposed to place your shadows.
Your outline.
Yeah, you kind of have to view everything as if it's a 3D picture. Like this cheek, I'm thinking, okay, this cheek. Let me put a shadow right here to show that this a cheek, a plumpy cheek right there. And then we gonna. So everything is a shape, and we could have did a simple example, just like if we was drawing a circle, and we was putting that shadow on this side. But now we drawing a circle with a circle inside of it. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's two shapes now. So we got to make sure we add those shadows to both of the shapes. So now we got a shadow right here and a shadow right here. So that's how you got to do it. You got to make sure you showing every shape with the shadow, with your shadows. Oh snap! Let me go to Let me go back to our picture. And the more you look at photos and pictures, you'll start understanding and figuring out how to simplify things for your art. Because I look at pictures so much where I be like, oh, and to a point where I know how to implement that in my art.
Okay, can you tell them, like, I saw in one of your videos, me personally, where you have used the S tool, I think that's the pen tool, to also do, like I said, it's kind of in a sense of kind of like drawing shapes. You can explain to them, like, show them a way of doing it with the S tool up there.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about, doing the shadows with that too.
Yeah, like the S option up there, drawing a shape and just color it in.
Okay, so freehand mode and color fill. And what I do is I draw where I want my shadows to be. So I go like this. I want this shadow to come right here. Then I want it to close right there. And I close it off. There go my shadow.
Yeah, I see that.
So that's how I do that if I want to do it in that method. So it just depends on what I'm feeling like doing at that time. Bring a shadow right here. I want to show that these glasses have a shadow. So I'm gonna say boom.
And this method that he's doing can be done with highlights and shadows.
For sure. So another thing too, we finna add a shadow on his hand. Let's go back to selection. Make sure you don't let us outside that color. You gotta make sure you got this fill color cut off, or it's gonna fill in everything. And then once you cut it off, it's gonna not let you go outside that line. Let's go back to our shadow layer. Now I'm finna go back to my technical pen. Draw our shadows. So, boom. Trust me, it seems like it's difficult, but after a while, the more you do it, you'll start understanding it. Just creating the shadows to make everything look 3D. Learn how to break things down with your eye. And only focus on one area at a time.
That's so hard.
Look at this hand right, this finger. We're only focusing on this finger right here. And just like I said, we putting shadows on the left side. And we just doing that for this video to try to make it simple before we even get more advanced. So the shadow is just telling me the shape of this finger. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you gotta see it. Now we're gonna move to this next finger. The shadow, how would we represent this finger right here? You see what I'm doing? I'm telling the story with my shadows, and the shadows is showing each way the shape is on that finger, on that one finger. It's showing how it's been. It's showing that the shadows is telling that it's a round shape. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So let's fill this in. So boom. Fill that in. And to be honest with you, we can use that method. If you want to move faster, we use that method we was talking about with the magic wand. Fill. And we gonna draw shapes.
So basically, what you explaining to them right now is they can do exactly what you were just doing with the technical pen, but also using the S tab.
Yeah. The only thing is, you see how it's kind of look jittery because it's that's the only thing The only downfall is you can't use the stabilizer with it. So what you can do, after you make your lines, you can go back over it with your brush at the outer edges and make it smoother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can make that smoother just like that.
In other words, basically, you guys can do what he just did with the S tool, and he's telling you after you do the shape or you do the shadows, you can kind of feel, you could fill in. If something looks off or something looks everywhere, you could just take your brush and just fill it in.
So bring this up. And we gotta do this last finger right here. One shadow. We're gonna do one shadow and one highlight. And same thing with this hand right here. Gonna make that shadow come on this side. Go ahead and draw it out. Let's see. I'm live, Tierra. I'm recording my YouTube right now. Let's see. And we ain't gotta worry about coloring over these nails because we gotta fill those in anyway. So boom. And fill that in. Say boom. Put the shadow right here. Shadow right here. Cause the shadow that's playing out these fingers too. But just like I said, at the end of the day, long as they look good, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Real.
Is your opacity at 100?
Yeah, my opacity at 100.
Okay.
Now, shadow right here. Shadow right here. Oh no, I'm fine.
You must have gone work again.
Shadow right there. So now what we can do, we should go ahead and do the highlight layer too. But if we got all those shadows where we want them, but I like to do the same space, go ahead and merge it with the skin layer. But don't do that until you know for sure that's the only shadow you're doing. And the reason I like to keep them open though, so just say if we wanted to put another tone underneath that. This is why we separate it. So now if we add another tone, because pretty much the more tones you add when it comes to shadows, the better the picture look for real. And it give it more of a 3D look. You know what I'm saying?
If y'all want to see example, go to his Instagram page. Look at the baby picture. I swear.
And you know what? We might add this one extra tone. I was gonna keep it at. You know what? Yeah, we'll go ahead and add it because that do make the picture look better.
Is this a highlight or a shadow?
It's another shadow. It's just a lighter tone. So keep that like that. Boom. Keep that right there. You see how it's doing?
Mm-hmm.
Bring this over. So boom. Bring that in. Boom. Boom. We'll keep that like that. Probably add us a little tone right there. There you go. And then we'll add that. To top it off, we'll add just a highlight layer. So let's go right here. Boom. And we're gonna put that. See, since we did the shadows on that side, we gotta do the highlights on the other side.
Yeah, you don't want to have your highlights and shadows all in the same place.
So it'll give it that 3D feel. Also, let me make this tone fall underneath the shadow. Highlight right here. Like that, boom. There we have it. And we can merge all them skin tones together. Now, I'm gonna add the lips and stuff. Probably the lips and the eye texture on this layer. We can put all that. And the nails. So, what I like to do when I'm doing like lip color, I like to make the top lip darker than the bottom. It just always look right. Do it like that. And we forgot the one of these areas is open. We'll fix that.
You never leave your lips the same color.
Cause it'll look like lipstick then for some reason. Once you make it just one color solid,
Yeah.
It just look like lipstick. But then when you just add those different variations of top lip darker and the bottom lip lighter, it always got a nice flow to it, and it just look more natural. So boom, got that. Another thing too, let's add eye color. A little pink right here. Little creases. Let's go to
That color in your skin pack.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's next to the white on one of the palettes.
I restarted my whole computer. That's why I ain't got it no more.
What, the skin tone?
Man, I ain't got nothing no more. I had to restart my whole dang.
You need to send it back to your email?
Yeah, you probably gonna have to. Cause I
I'ma
used to
send
use my junk every day.
Huh?
I only sell stuff I actually use. I used to use it every day. And now
it seems like once you get the skin pack and you learn how to use it, it gives you a quicker workflow.
Yeah, it really helps your workflow quick, for real. Or you can hurry up and get to the creative side. Okay, we did a little. I like to do these little highlights on the white because it's like a shadow. A shadow right.
You feel like that white and purple? Is that like a purple?
Mm-hmm.
It always go well together.
Yeah. They give it like a little tint, because just say if I want to go on top of these eyes and add a highlight, now that white will stand out. You know what I'm saying? Or I can just say boom. Go like this. Then hit them with something like this. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be able to make you realize that white was a shine if I would have did my eyes completely white. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So another thing we're gonna do too, you notice in the original picture, he got them glasses on with a tint. So what I'm finna do is, we don't need this layer no more. We don't need that.
That's another thing. I'm glad you noticed the tint, because a lot of people had glasses with the tint, and myself personally, I tried to do one at E40, and it's like, how do you get it where you can see the eye with the color at the same time? That's what I had a problem with.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
I'm finna show you right now. So first, we just gonna create a base. Just a solid little base. There's so many ways you can do it. So I'm finna, I'm finna drop this under the gold, right? Create a selection on top of my red, make a shadow, but take color fill off. Remember I said you gotta make sure you got color fill off so it'll make it where you can't go outside those lines.
Does it automatically check itself back each time, the color fill option?
Yeah, it will.
Okay.
So now that I got that, I'm on my airbrush tool, and I'm gonna just color at the very top so it'll have a nice little fade. See it?
Hold on. I don't see anything happening. What is it doing?
It's giving it a shade. You see that?
Oh, I saw it transform.
Mm-hmm. All I'm doing is coloring at the very top of the glasses so it'll have a little shadow coming down. Like this.
You're just hitting it at the top with the technical.
And then what you can do with glasses, you can put a line down the middle too, like this. A light line, dark line.
Give it that tint feel.
Yeah. something like that.
Would you keep the opacity at 100, or would you suggest turning it down when you're doing the glasses like that?
I'll probably turn it down.
Okay, so it don't be all in your face.
So it'll look like it's really blending with the skin you got under it, and you can still kind of see those shadows as well.
Yo, do you see the eyes? That is so hard. Like it's like when you zoom into it, it's hard, bro. It's hard. Do you see the tint of the eyes? It's like purplish.
Oh yeah. And then what's so dope, bro? We're gonna use our eraser tool just a bit for the times we colored. Cause I moved this line back at the top. We're gonna use our eraser tool.
Yeah, that's hard. How did the eyes even get? That's hard, bro. That's hard. How did the eyes even get like with the purple in the background like that? I did see you put it in there, but I don't know, bro. That's
when
hard.
you bring the opacity down a little bit, and look, since we got it on its own layer, just said we wanted to look for a color. I'm like, you know what? I kind of like it right now. So boom. Now what we need to do, we gonna keep that. So we gonna merge these two layers together, and we're gonna merge that. Yeah, we just gonna merge that layer. What layer I need to focus on right now? I want to do that scarf. So
okay. All right.
I'm finna unlock my line work so I can make another copy of the line work. Then lock my line work back so we'll be able to do this scarf. So now, what color? We made that cheetah print scarf. Say boom, boom, boom. Okay, we got that. We're gonna make sure we got everything colored in the inside of this scarf. Right here. And then right here. Alright, cool. Everything is covered. Now we're gonna go back, create selection. We're gonna change that tint a little bit to the scarf. Play with these colors a little bit till we get something we like. Let's go a little brighter. Go back.
Would you say use saturation is the same thing like the color drops, or it's different?
It's a little different. It's a little different.
And that's a highlight you just added in?
Mm-hmm. We finna make a cheetah print. So how we gonna do this? All we gonna do is just add little circles like this. And since, wait, dang, I forgot to put the whatchamacallit on where it don't let me color outside the line.
The select tool?
Yeah, the selection. Gotta make sure you do that selection, turn color fill off. And then it'll make it where you can't go outside the line.
So, where's the selection tool? If you are trying to do stuff like this, just hit the select tool and just freestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And it won't go out.
It won't let you go outside the color you got.
Because the lines are closed, that's why.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Pattern on. Let's show some. Now, thinking about adding a shadow to that so it'll stand out a little more. You know what? We ain't even gotta do all that. We can brighten it up some. Boom, brighten that up. Now, we're gonna merge. Can I merge all that together? Yep, so can. We're gonna merge all these together. Anytime we need another line work, we just gonna unlock the top line work. Anytime you need another one. So, and we're gonna need one right now. So unlock, cause we gotta do the nails. Wait, unlock, duplicate, lock. Gotta do this.
For anybody that's lost, why did you have to unlock the layer again?
Because I logged it just to make sure I always have a copy of my line work, and I always keep one at the top. So you gotta unlock it to be able to do anything with it. So if you want to make a duplicate, you can't duplicate it until you unlock it. So unlock it, make a duplicate, and then you lock it back so you don't mess up your line work. So anytime you need an extra copy, just unlock it. Make these nails real quick. Uh-oh.
Will we begin like more frequently Procreate videos?
Oh yeah, of course. Damn sure I'm gonna do more of these. Let's see. Okay, now
this is like something made in Adobe.
Yeah, don't it? That's why before we even got started, we added that 400 DPI so we can get a higher res with the quality. Create a selection with these nails. I'm finna go to my paintbrush. I might use my airbrush, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna fade the tip a little bit like this.
So if your DPI was lower, this picture resolution would be
it'll be so messed up. It'll look like pixels all over. That's why the higher you got that DPI, the higher the quality gonna be. But the higher you go with quality, it ain't gonna give you that many layers to work with. So I say 400 should be a nice safe spot where you can still have a couple layers to work with and the good quality.
But towards the end of doing what you're doing in your project, you can start merging stuff together.
Anytime you done with a certain area, just merge that together to save some room. Just like these nails, we done with them nails, so we can just merge that with them layers right there. And the only thing that we gonna have to touch up is that shirt. We gotta add some shadows to that shirt now. So let's create a selection in that red, and create a new layer right above it. Go back to our trusty technical pen, select that red and create a shadow from it. Boom. And now let's make some fly shadows. Boom. Just like I said, as long as it look good, that's the rule. All we trying to do is make it look fire. Boom. You know what's so crazy? I'm finna use my let's use this method. We cover a lot of ground.
Is that the method that we was talking about earlier?
Where you draw out the shadows with your pen tool.
Now y'all see how fast you could do that method that he's doing? Like when when he's doing this method, all he's gonna have to do is come back and just shade all the shape in. And it's not
Facts.
gonna let him go outside the line of the shape he's making. Wait, you did the color fill option, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, I was thinking you was gonna have to come back in and take the pencil and start like, doing it. But that's a shadow right there.
Yeah. You just draw it out. And it's the same method I use in Adobe where I draw out my shadows.
That's crazy.
Boom.
Fire.
Let's see. Go back. Something like that. Something like that. Uh-oh. Man, it's over. And right now, I'm just going off of feeling. What I feel will look cool. That's why the more you do it, that's another thing too. You have to get your hands dirty. You gotta start doing it a lot until you start getting that feel of it. So boom.
That's so fire how Procreate has that tool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they killed the game with that tool. And I don't even think it's used for this, but this is what I use it for. Just like Adobe, like I don't even think most of them tools are used for what I use it for. You just improvise for real. Let me see. Boom. We're gonna add another little shadow right here. Say boom. Then right here, we're gonna close this. Say ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay.
He's basically doing what he told us to do earlier. He's following up with the brush.
Mm-hmm. We go through any lines that I think need to be cleaner. I just go back over. Let's get right here. Say boo, 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 boo. Alright. Let's go ahead and add us a solid color in the back. Say boo.
They had like a reddish, pinkish or so.
Mm-hmm. And now we need to add some shadows on our let's add some on our bandana scarf around his neck and his lips. So we'll do the lips first and the tongue and stuff. So create a new layer. Say boo. Add a shadow right here. And then let's add a shadow right here. Oh damn. Say boo. Shadow right there. Put another shadow. A little pink in there. I add a little highlight on the lips. See, then what else we finna add? We gonna add let's merge that together, cause just like I said, we like to say.
What you amazed me by is you didn't turn down really none of the shadows and stuff like that. I just thought you had to do that stuff. Like you had to turn down your shadows all the way down. You left everything at 100.
Yeah. Nah, you ain't gotta do it unless that's your style. Something like if that's your style. Like they say, there's a million ways to skin a cat, but I just do mine like this for real. Let me see. Add us a little shadow. Right here. And boom. Then we're gonna drop that opacity down just a little tad. And last but not least, wait. You know what we can do? Let's go to the very top. I can merge all that together because we finished with that. Go to the very top. We can add some waves in that hair. So we're gonna go back to that hairbrush.
Hey, you did tell me to remind you also too after you get done doing this about the jewelry.
Okay.
You said an effect or something like that.
Oh
I think you was
yeah.
talking bling effect.
Yeah, we done so gonna do that. Do the bling effect. So we're gonna do the highlights in this hair. Like this. And then we're gonna add a brighter color and go in the center of that.
That's the flowing hairbrush.
Mm-hmm. I think it is. Wait, let's see. Short hair.
Short hair. Yeah, get that perm look.
Mm-hmm.
Got that shine to it.
Yeah. And now we're gonna do that little bling effect. So we can come to the very top. Go to the yellow. Let's go to light pen. And that on the light pen.
What the light pen mostly used for in your case?
Shining. You see how it's doing it?
Yeah.
It give it that like glow effect. So anytime you want to add some glow to something, whether it's lights or anything,
A grill.
mm-hmm. Pretty much. That go that banger.
It's all together.
We're gonna merge all that. Now, if you want to go above and beyond what you can do, merge all that. Wait, what in the world? Okay, merge all that. Select that line work. Take fill off. Create a new layer. Create us a nice little shadow tint. Go to our little airbrush. Go to your airbrush and you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Giving it a little shine, a little tint. That's pretty much it though.
And that's it.
Yeah.
It's ready. Bro, send me that as a JPG to the inbox so I can look at it in full on my end.
I got you, bro.
That's a fire cartoon movie effect.
Mm-hmm. You know what else? I'm finna add a little drip too. Let's see. Technical.
That light pen fire.
Yeah, that light pen is something serious. That light
You
pen
still be
is...
using that nozzle brush?
Huh?
I said you still be using a nozzle brush?
Yeah, I pretty much, like, it just depends on what I'm trying to create. I pretty much utilize all the brushes for real when I'm just like playing around with some art.